Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to do booking and customer management and invoices and reports, all the basic features that Roomsy has. We can start doing that by logging in with the account that I just created in a previous tutorial. Of course you have your own login, but anyways, let's start with making a new reservation. Click on new reservation, and you can see there's a whole bunch of fields. You can click on the first field, which is a check-in, and it shows a calendar there, as you can see. Let's select that as today, which is the April 11th. I'm going to say the person staying until the 13th, and you can see based on the room type, which there's four different room types. These all have been set up at the setup wizard, which we went over on the previous tutorial. You can edit all the room types whichever the way you want under settings in future. But anyways, for now, let's go with the non-smoking single bed, which is NSB, and it shows that room 101 is available for NSB. Just to show you that if you change it to DB, you can see the different list of the rooms that are available for the DB. But anyways, let's go back to NSB 101. As for adult, number of the adults, I can go with 3 adults, and let's go say 2 children. And as you can see, the rate automatically adjusts based on the number of the adults and children and the room type. So say if I change the number of adults down to 2, you can see the rate is now 80. You can also adjust if it's a daily rate, weekly or monthly. For example, if I go weekly, you'll see that weekly rate automatically shows up, but I'm going to go with the daily. And the rate here is the rate including tax. And I'm going to go on ahead and write down the paying customer. Let's say Phil is checking in. Oh, look, he's already there. This is because I entered Phil beforehand, right before this tutorial. So Phil Johnson, but you know what? I don't want to use this quite yet. I'm going to make another booking in future, and I'm going to use Phil. But in this booking, let's go with Robert Adams. Customer type, is it a person or the company? We're going to go person. Email, robert@asdf.com. Just going to enter a whole bunch of arbitrary information here. There you go. Other guest names, I'm going to say Robert's wife, Rachel Adams. Other information, they want late checkout. And yeah, that's good. Now let's say 12 o'clock. And create reservation. You can see the reservation has been created, and Roomsy shows you the reference number, which you can give it to your customer. It's not mandatory, but some customers prefer having a reference number, so do that. And if Robert is creating another reservation, you can just click on book another room for another or same guest. Or if you're done, you can just go ahead and close the reservation window. And as you can see, Robert's reservation pops up, and on the right it says today's highlights, and Robert's reservation also pops up on the right as well. This is because Robert is checking in today. If I dragged Robert to check in tomorrow, then he won't show on the today's highlights anymore, as you can see. Okay, I'm gonna drag him back to today, so he's checking in today. And as you can see on the right, it takes a little while, but he shows up as well. Excuse me. It doesn't matter which one you click. You can either click on Robert on the left or right. They're both gonna show up a window. It's gonna be the same window regardless of which one you click on. And say if he's here and he's about to check in, you can click on print registration card for him to sign on, and you can see it shows all the information. You can go ahead and print it, but I'm not gonna print it because I don't have a printer with me. But you can just imagine that it's going to print the registration card, and the guest can sign on it, and you can keep the paper. And once he signs on it, then you can just click on check-in guest, and now he's checked in. And as you can see, he changed his color to green, and now he's moved to in-house guest. Pretty simple, right? Now, say if the person is not making a reservation, but instead he's just checking in, then you can just click on new walk-in, which basically exactly the same as making a new reservation, except first of all, you cannot change the check-in date because of course the person's checking in right now, so it's always going to be today. As for checkout date, let's just go 14th, and room type NSB. However, you don't see any rooms available under NSB because Robert has taken the room that's under NSB. So I guess we don't have any choice but to go with the double bed. And you can see 102 and 104 is available for that room type. Let's go with the 102. Say there's one person checking in, no children. The rate is 60. And remember Phil? Let's enter Phil. And you can see Phil Johnson pops up automatically. And once you click on him, the rest of the information that was stored beforehand is there. Just to give you a better idea, say, well, let's get rid of Phil. Say if you want to check in Robert again, say Robert is checking in somebody else, but he's paying for it. You can pull out Robert by just typing in R-O or just R, and Robert Adams show up. Click on him, and again, all his credentials are filled in automatically. But let's just go with the Phil. And I'm gonna say checking in by himself. Give Phil a $5 discount because I've known him for forever. And I can manually change the rate to $5 less, which is gonna be 55. And I can check him in. And as you can see, now there's Phil Johnson. Also on the right, Phil Johnson's there as well. So now they're in the room. Let's say Robert went to the bar and he had a couple of the drinks, but he wants to charge it to his room. How would I do that? I can do that by first clicking on his room and pull out the window for his information, and there's an invoice button. You can click on this link, or the button I just said, to pull out the invoice for Robert. Now, invoice is extremely simple with Roomsy. Everything is very intuitive. If you want to add a new charge, here's a row for adding a new charge. So you can go, Robert had a couple of drinks. Or anything you want to enter. It can be some sort of a receipt number, or you don't even have to enter anything at all under description. And for the type, once you click on the drop down list here, you can see two different colors. Red indicates charges, green indicates credits, so the money they pay. Obviously for this case it's a charge, it's a bar charge, so I'm going to click on bar charge, and I'm going to say it's going to be $10 for 2 drinks, and I'm going to click on add, and you can see the new row has been added for bar charge. Let's also say Robert put in $100 deposit. Then obviously it's going to be a credit because he's putting the money in. So I say $100 deposit, and say he paid with cash. Then I'm going to go cash, credit, $100, add. And you can see the credit has now been added. You can also see that the balance is updated in real time. So you don't have to wait for page reload or anything, it's there. So far right now, we owe Robert $89.70. That's because $100 he paid, and I owe him, or he owes me $10 for the drink. It hasn't been saved yet though. It is only saved after you click on save and modified, save new and modify charges. Click on that, and you can see now everything is saved. Now some hoteliers would like to see how much this person's gonna owe by the time he checks out. You can show that by clicking on show upcoming charges. Then I'm just gonna scroll down a little bit here. Then you can see that he's gonna be paying for 2 nights for $80 per day, and that's gonna be $171, and eventually the total charge amount is gonna be $181.50. And so far he paid $100 deposit, and by the time he checks out he's gonna owe me $81.50. So you know, you can just ask him for $81.50 when he checks out, or whichever way, it's up to you, but the information is all there for you to play with. If you want to change any of the guest information while you're looking into the invoice, you can click on show booking information, and you can see all the information is there. You can change it around if you want to. Also, of course, the customer would like to see their invoice, or most of them anyway. You can click on print invoice, and there you go. Again, you can just click on print and to print your invoice. So that is it for Invoice. It's one of the most frequently used feature in Roomsy. And now you know how to create reservation and new walk-in. Now let's say something is broken in room 105 and you cannot sell the room for tonight. Then you can use the new auto order button. Click on that, and let's say pipeline is broken. It's quite a nightmare for the hotel owners, but say that happened, and that's gonna be effective starting today till tomorrow, and that's gonna be for room 105. Create auto order, and now you can see that we now have an auto order. You can also extend the date by just dragging it or just clicking on it and changing the date as well. Okay. There's a couple more features I'd like to go over. One of them is running a night audit. This feature is very important. It sometimes confuses people, but really it's very simple. Basically what run night audit does is it changes the date to the next day and charge everybody that's in-house guests. So Robert and Phil will get charged for one night as a date goes to the next day. So when would the hotels run the night audit? I'm pretty sure you're already familiar with it, but say the day is over. Say it's 3 in the morning. You're not expecting any more people to check into your hotel, and you're ready to charge everybody in your room. That's when you would run the night audit. If you click on the night audit, you can see it also tells you that exactly what it's gonna do: charge all in-house guests for the night, and increment the selling date to the next day. And continue. Well, let's go ahead and continue. Run night audit. It tells you that it has been successfully processed, and you can see under the balance, you can see that both of the rooms have been charged. Robert is now his balance. I owe him $4 instead of 80 some dollars I owed him before because of the credit. It's much lower now, so I owe him less money. He owes me more money, and by tomorrow he's gonna owe me some money. And Phil, he got charged for the first night, which is $58.85. Oops. So he's gonna go back here. And that's because his nightly charge is $55. With the tax, it's $58.85. So you can see all the in-house guest rooms have been charged for the night. Let's say Robert decides to check in a day earlier, or sorry, check out a day earlier. So I'm just gonna reduce the amount of his stay to 1 day. And Robert, to check him out, basically I can select him and then click on checkout guest. Now notice that it tells me Robert has an outstanding balance of $410. It's not 0. If it's 0, it's not going to show me any warning, but because there's an outstanding balance, it's giving me a warning. You can just go ahead and close it too and expect to pay him back later, but let's take care of it right now. So click on open invoice. Now because I owe him $410, that's because again, he paid me $100, but I am charging him $95.90. So there's a change. So I'm just gonna say paid him or gave him change, and that's gonna be cash. And because I'm giving the money back, I'm gonna go minus $4.10. Add, and you can see the balance is now updated to 0. I'm gonna save it, and now the balance is 0, which is always a good thing. And we're gonna go back to bookings, and you can see that Robert has been checked out. Let's check out Phil as well. I'm also gonna reduce his stays. Oops. Reduce the number of his stays. And Phil decides to check out early. I'm gonna check him out. Again, he's been checked out, but there's an outstanding balance. I'm gonna open the invoice again, and I'll say that he paid with Visa, and Phil paid $58.85, which is the outstanding amount, as you can see down here. And he paid it with his Visa. I'm going to add that, and again the balance becomes 0. I'm going to go ahead and save it, and now Phil is also good to go. Both guests, the balances are zeros. See? So there you go. Now you know how to make reservation or deal with the new walk-ins, and you know how to check them in and check them out. And also now you know how to do run night audit. Now sometimes you make a mistake where you run the night audit more than once, and selling date is a day ahead of today, which is not a right thing. So in order to correct that, you can click on settings, and you can change the selling date to whichever date you want to. Alright. Also, just want to show you one more feature in the invoice before I forget. You can also adjust the invoices, and this is only doable for the owners or the managers. The employees do not have a permission to do this. But say if you want to adjust the invoice, you can either delete the line, as you can see, the X, and delete it permanently, which I'm not going to do because the balance is 0, but you can do it. Or you can also adjust the fields of the invoice. And again, this is only doable if you're the owner or the manager. Okay, so yeah, no, you can see that you can adjust any fields in the invoice. Alright, so that's pretty much everything that's under bookings. Let's take a look at customers. Once you go under the customers, you can see that there are 2 customers stored that I created. These are created automatically, and once you click on them, you can see the other credentials about the customer. Up here, so again, the credentials of their information. You can write notes. Also, you can write comments. He forgot his cell phone charger in the room, and I can add a comment, and you can see that the comment has been added right here. And using the comments, you can keep the history of the customer staying in your hotel. And also we have a booking history down here where you can see the information of the guest. Every time the person stays in your hotel, the bookings accumulate, and each bookings, all the informations are accessible by, you can click on them and you can see the same window, and you can pretty much see all the information about the guest here as well. Alright, so that's it for the customer. Now for the rooms, you can see all the rooms of your hotel and who's staying in the room right now or who checked out, and see if they're clean or dirty. And this is useful because your housekeepers would know which rooms to expect to clean dirty or which ones to clean as a checkout. There's actually a separate report for that, which I'm gonna go over right away. But here, once the housekeepers finish cleaning up all the rooms, you can click on Clean All and update all the rooms as clean. Also, you can choose individual rooms and mark them as dirty or clean. Okay, and under the room inventory, you can write notes about the rooms as well. Now, let's go over the reports. So, there's few types of reports we have. These we figured are the most essential ones. This is the monthly ledger summary report. As you can see, we've only used it for 1 day, so there isn't much to the graph yet. But you can see all the information, sales payment and the balance of that each day's sales. And if you want to go to specifics, you can click on that individual date and you can see the details of what happened during that day. Okay, also you can go to different days on this screen as well. I'm going to go back and let's go over sales. Sales report basically shows you exactly the same thing as our last report, but concentrates on sales. It categorizes differently based on the type of charge, so you know where you're making most money from. Is it coming from the restaurant or the bar, or from the damage charges, and so on. Tax report shows you how much tax you've made. Housekeeping report, now this gets used pretty much every day, and this is the report that you print and give to the housekeepers. As you can see, it tells you the status of the rooms and when the guests are checking in and checking out. And the employee report shows you based on the which employee, how much cash that certain employee has received, or the visa and whatnot. This way you can keep on track of how much money the employee made, and you can use it for cash out and the shift changes. You can utilize this report for that purpose. So that's about that for the report, and we pretty much covered all the basics about Roomsy. For more help, you can always click on help section on the top right here, and again you can contact me anytime over to my phone number here or over email. Thanks for watching, and good luck with Roomsy, and I look forward to hear from you if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.